Good morning yet again. And there goes my voice. From the woods. We're out on a walk because I really needed a walk this morning. It's been a week. And not even necessarily a bad week. It's just been a week. It's funny, after complaining about the cold, which came after me complaining about the heat, I'm going to try really hard not to complain about the heat again, because everything reversed and we're warm again. So I'm going to try not to complain about that. I'm also a little bit mad at myself because I think it's almost over, but I kind of missed huckleberry season. So these are huckleberries. Actually, it's not too bad. And huckleberries, I just ate one, are a lot like a blueberry, but they're easier to pick because the bushes are taller. I don't know. Maybe I'll get out and actually pick some. Also, the other thing about huckleberries, the difference anyway, is that the berries are sweeter, but a lot of people don't like them because they have a more crunchable seed, I guess you would say. Actually, I guess I didn't miss huckleberry season after all. There's a lot on these bushes. They also ripen later than blueberries, so if you don't want to come to a place that has huckleberries and blueberries during the height of the hot, you can always just kind of come during huckleberry season. It's a very similar berry. But yeah, it's been a week. I think part of it is just the whole getting older thing. I'm trying not to complain about it too much, but some weeks it really hits me. Especially when I'm in my closet trying on clothes that used to fit. That's on me. I know that that is on me. Oh, look at these mushrooms. They look like hair. That's kind of cute. But yeah, I know the weight thing is on me. It's just me being lazy. And the fact that food is delicious. If we weren't supposed to get fat, why did they make food so delicious? Maybe I shouldn't have learned to cook. But yeah, that's kind of been bringing me down. Which is fine. Everybody has ups and downs. And we're going to walk over to the beach. So this is my lake. It's just the big part. I almost always forget, not really forget, but it slips my mind from time to time that my lake has its own nature trail. It's just a very short nature trail. It's not like the one over at the campground that's like 3 or 4 miles. I hope some little kid was making a sandcastle, otherwise that pile makes no sense. Because it doesn't have anthill holes in it. Oh, that's really pretty. I love the lake in the morning, especially quiet mornings like this, because it's just kind of all there. And the sun's out today, which maybe that was also the reason that my mood was so down last week. It rained pretty much every day. And I always joke about me being solar powered, but it's not really all that much of a joke. I kinda am. I can hear all the little birds. And then the minute I shut up, they stop twittering, except for like one. We'll go back up to the path. But I always know if I get out and walk, that usually can lift my mood. It's just hard to convince yourself to do it when it's raining. We did. We had so much rain the last 10 days. And that's fine. It actually helps the lake. It's funny. My son Aaron was talking with his boss about how even though we've gotten a lot of rain, the lake levels all look like they've gone down. And so Aaron looked it up, and it's not just in our imagination. We've gotten a couple inches of rain, but the lake levels have gone down, and that's because of the autumn temperature swings and the fact that we've been having so much fog, which is just essentially, it's just essentially the lake giving back the moisture to the sky in copious amounts. Squirrel. Also, I see somebody is at this campsite, so I'm going to pause you guys and sneak past them quietly. Okay, past the actual people. I try my hardest not to film other people. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you're out in like a much more public area. But most of the time I'm just kind of wandering the woods. I also don't blame anybody for camping this weekend. Yesterday it was a little bit drizzly in the morning, but then it cleared off and we are currently in... Okay, there's a chart that I've seen on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram because it's so widely used, all about the 12 seasons of Michigan winter, or the 12 seasons of Michigan. And this being Michigan, especially when they specify it to the Upper Peninsula, at least 7 of those seasons are winter. But we do have, a couple seasons of summer, and then a couple fall, and usually only 2 springs. But somebody posted a meme the other day with a little finger pointing at "You are here for the return of summer to Electric Boogaloo," also known as optional summer. And I feel like that's where we're at. Also, we are now off the nature trail and back on the actual road. Which I'm walking down the middle of. Because I can. It's funny. Whenever I go to any of the quote-unquote cities up here, it's really hard to break myself of the habit of wanting to walk down the middle of a road. Like if we're in a back alley or something in Escanaba, I'm always walking down the middle of it. And the boys are forever pulling me off to the side, telling me that this is not the country and there could be a car barreling around the corner at any second. Which is true. I just never think of it that way, because I'm used to my back roads now. It's funny how fast you can get used to stuff. I think I've said it before many, many times that I grew up not in Detroit, but literally 1 block north of 8 Mile. Yes, that 8 Mile. And so, I was going to say I know how to conduct myself in a city environment, but let's scratch that and say I at least used to know how to conduct myself in a city environment. I don't really think that I could claim that now, because of how fast humans are to adapt to new situations. And in my case, this was my preferred situation. I didn't like living in the city, even growing up there. My town, when I was growing up, it wasn't considered a bad town, air quotes, but it also wasn't like posh or bougie or anything. It was just kind of a run-of-the-mill, middle-class suburban town. But when I went back there the last time, a couple years ago, trying to see my old house, etc., wow, they built it up. And now, it's considered a fashionable little town. Also, I would hate to try and buy a house in my old town at this point, because property values are stupid. Not that I'm considering it. I think it's going to take dynamite. I would say an act of Congress, but we're not talking about that. But it would take dynamite to get me out of here. I am too settled and have set my roots too deep. I love hemlock woods. They just look dark and spooky, and the video never does it justice. Like, really the only thing you can see on video is just the lack of understory. Oh, there's a bird on that. Oh, that was a chipmunk, not a bird. Chipmunk on the stump that you probably can't see. But yeah, you can tell that there's not really much undergrowth back there, especially when you swing around and compare it to a birch forest. But video never really gets the, not gloomy, although I guess you could describe it as a gloomy atmosphere in there. I don't consider it gloomy. Just neat. I love hemlocks. I think they might be my favorite trees up here. The cedars up here are also really great. Oh, also, I found out about something, I think the middle of this week, that I wish I would have known about sooner, because now it's too late for me to sign up for it. And it would have been great fun, even if I didn't get to take a video while doing it, which you probably can. I feel like that's just sort of such a YouTube-friendly thing. But the ghost town near me that's now a state park, Fayette, in September does paranormal investigation nights. And it's limited to either 20 or 40 people per group that they do. And you go around the town of Fayette, which is a ghost town, and you do paranormal investigations. And especially considering how much I've been playing the game Phasmophobia, that just sounds like fun. Although I'm much braver in games than I am in real life. I think because in games, when the ghost chokes you, it's okay. Because you just respawn as a ghost yourself. And then you proceed to loot the house and put all of the ghost stuff in your truck. I don't think it works like that in real life. Sadly. But yeah. My week has been a week. And I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining. It really wasn't a bad week. It just also wasn't really a good week. It was just kind of a week. Ups and downs, swings and roundabouts, etc. But hey, maybe we'll get more sun this week. And so I can recharge my solar batteries. And maybe I'll get out on some more walks. And maybe I'll take you with me. Oh, if you're wondering why I haven't had any videos of birds and critters lately, possibly also relating to my mood, we had to stop feeding at least for a while. Not for anything cool like a bear, because y'all would have gotten a recording of that, but because the raccoon colony got distemper. We've had to call out the DNR for 2 that I know of, and other people on the lake might have called out the DNR for others. But we've had to call out the DNR to euthanize a couple of raccoons with distemper. So get your dogs vaccinated, people, because distemper is not a natural disease to raccoons. They pick it up from dogs, and it's not pretty. And that did give me the big sads. So the DNR advised that we all kind of pull all of our feeders for at least the next 2 to 3 weeks and just kind of let everything disperse. Especially because although thankfully cats cannot contract canine distemper, which is what the raccoons have, squirrels can. And that would probably gut me. It was bad enough with the 2 raccoons that I had to personally call on. I don't know if I could handle watching squirrels go through the same thing. So that's why, at least until, I would say, mid-October, not going to be doing much in the way of bird videos. Or critter videos. It's sad. I mean, I guess it's kind of natural. Although I don't really think that an introduced disease could be really termed as natural. But yeah, that's been my week. I hope you guys are having a good week. You know, it's funny. I never really plan these videos. I just kind of turn on the camera and talk about whatever comes into my head. But when I started my walk, I was like, I should talk about music. And instead, I just rambled about everything else. So, in completion of this video, because I'm about to turn y'all off, share with me how your week has been. And even though I didn't personally talk about music, we can talk about it in the comments. Let me know what is your favorite style of music, favorite singers, favorite genres. Personally, in case you haven't noticed from videos I've posted with music, I think my favorite is some form of alternative, preferably like a singer-songwriter type alternative. Favorite singers, for me, number 1 for me at the moment is Sarah Bareilles. I think she's been my favorite for the last at least 5 or 6 years. followed by, I really like Pink, Natalie Merchant, Sarah Bettens, 10,000 Maniacs, so Natalie Merchant again. Male singers, Ben Abraham, maybe Michael Stipe from REM, Robert Smith from The Cure. I have a love of moody music. But yeah, share with me what yours is. And I guess with that, we're going to end this video because I'm almost home again. I mean, I've got like maybe a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile. But this is also getting into a more populated area, so it's probably time to turn y'all off. Thank you as always for walking with me. I really do appreciate it. Leave me a thumbs up if you want to. It makes me smile and supposedly does stuff for the algorithm, ? Also, if you're interested, I do have a Patreon where a loud bird is, where the things that disappeared off this channel a year ago are slowly being put back up. It's, I think, a reasonable price. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think reasonable is, and I'll talk to you later.